Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Aero issue number 1. God, that art germ cover. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is pure beauty. Now, guys, there is not a story in this comic book. There are 2. I didn't expect that. I didn't read ahead and see that there was going to be 2 stories in here. So I opened up and I see that there's the Protector of the City, written by, here comes me butchering some names, Zhao Leifan and artist Kang, adaptation by Greg Pak, and then another story, Aero and Wave, Origins and Destinies, Part 1, written by Greg Pak, art by Pop Mien, and colors by Federico Blee. How you doing? Letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, and cover by Kang with a variant cover by Art Germ, another by America Andolfo. Hello. Action figure variant cover by John Tyler Christopher, and logo design by the one and only Carlos Lau, who has done so many gorgeous logos, man. There's also special thanks in here to Winnie Wu and Yifan Zhang. So look, there's this first story which just looks like it's straight out of a manga, and I forgot how, you look at Cthulhian horror and they can't draw pictures of it. You can only describe the terror. With mangas, it's the exact opposite. When they do a scary manga, they can't describe the horror. They can only draw it, and you're left trying to figure out what you're looking at. And both of them are freaking nightmare fuel in their own right. There's a lot to say for the slow creeping ghost horror versus the hack and slash jump scare horror, right? And in this particular case, this is 2 different styles. And this one, I love this. I forgot what manga can actually bring to the table because I haven't read manga in a long time. And you put hentai and all their tentacles aside, manga, man, this is beautiful. And this feels like a colorized manga. I don't know if they do color for most manga nowadays. I'm still used to it all being in black and white. So, but this was, dude, it's been so long. I can't remember if Dragon Ball was even in color. Dragon Ball Z. I feel like it was in color. But what the hell? I watched all the episodes, and those were in color. Anyway, this was amazing. I loved this first issue, but I loved this first story. It was gorgeous, and the art in there, it just made me drool. I loved it because it is not something you typically see in a comic book, and variety is the spice of life. You know what I'm talking about. The second story was more of an origin for Wave than it was for Aero, but it actually gave us an origin story for her. Oh, origin stories are always welcome. I never balk at an origin story. But this actually felt like a standard comic book. So guess what? You get the manga lover, you get the comic book lover, and that perfect blend between the two, like the salts and the fresh waters coming together. You know what I'm saying? Straits Gibraltar, baby. Bow! Gotcha! This was a freaking awesome comic book. This comic book is staying towards the front of one of my pull boxes. That's real talk, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to read this again. Listen, here's the deal. I'm going to be collecting minimum the first 10 issues of this comic book. Unless it completely tanks and I can't stand the book somehow. I don't see that with this first issue. But I am planning on collecting the first 10 issues of this bare minimum. Then, with the 10th issue, I will decide if I'm going to go to 25. Yeah, like that. I have a feeling this comic book is going to continue regardless. I genuinely believe that. But I'm making a commitment to doing that. And I'm going to ask that everybody else consider doing the same. Not just for this book, but for Swordmaster also. All right, that's my buddy Arion and Dito. Dude's got to eat too, all right? But my peeps, Comic Book University alumni, real talk right here. I stand by what I said. This is the kind of book that is going to bridge that gap between manga and regular comic books. You know what I'm saying? These two combined, you're talking about getting a whole lot more readership, and suddenly more people reading comic books. Marvel and DC don't have to do all that silly stuff. Plus, a lot of these other guys coming in aren't going to care about, oh, there are 6 variant covers. I have to get them all. They're going to be like, psh, I got this one. And then walk over and pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, I stand by what I said. This could, and I hope that it will, bridge that gap. Get a whole bunch more readers coming in. And even just put the spectator stuff aside, because the first 10 of these issues, has got to be something great spectator-wise. That's why I say get those first 10 issues. But even spectator aside, this is a really amazing comic book. I am seriously looking forward to seeing more of the adventures of this beautiful character. It's a character who controls the wind. All right. I used to play Marvel. I still do play Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role-Playing Game System. Wind control is one of the powers. What characters control the wind? You know what I'm saying? Like control air. Storm controls weather. Wind is involved in that, but it's not just the wind. We got a character who does that now. You know what I'm saying? We're outside of the red tornado realms. This is a really cool character. It's a great comic book. Fantastic issue. Highly recommended. Top of my suggested list for all alumni. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.